That's awesome.
I enjoy having breakfast in bed. I like waking up to the smell of bacon. Sue me. And since I don't have a butler, I have to do it myself.
Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name is the Osnator, and I apologize for getting to the stream late, but to be honest, I was busy watching Cobra Kai, so I was just like, after Smackdown, I'm like, you know what, I'm not going to do the stream tonight because I want to finish Cobra Kai. Because by that point, I think I only had like a couple episodes left, and I'm like, I'm not going to be done before the stream, so I put the stream off till tonight because there was no real major pay-per-view tonight. There's like no real news besides another huge piece, which I might talk about over the next coming days, even though we're kind of a bit past it, but you know, it's still relatively big. And I kind of figured I should get my thoughts out on that because it's massive, I guess you could say. Today, or tonight, I guess you could say, we are going to be discussing Friday Night Smackdown. We're going to be reviewing the Smackdown of September 9th and just give you my thoughts on the show overall and just discuss what happened. So for all of you guys who have yet to see it, it'll just be your guide to what happened. Before we begin, I just want to put out there, if you want to subscribe to the channel, you may do so. Tomorrow, going to be doing a birthday stream because tomorrow is my birthday. Yeah, it's on. Yeah, the day it's on is not necessarily the most ideal, but you know what? My birthday on Sunday. Just gonna be doing a birthday stream. Not gonna be as big as last year, but hopefully do some other stuff. And also, my Twitter is down in my my description. Go and check that out. And while I get myself situated here, I'm gonna share the stream out. I'm just gonna say, live on YouTube. Come and check me. YouTube, come check me out. I don't know why I'm narrating this. Come and check it out. All right, so here we go. Gonna post the stream here. Right here and now. Boom. Go and retweet my pinned tweet. All right, so Smackdown of September 9th, 2022. Was the show good? I mean, it was better than Raw, to tell you the truth, because, it's better because Raw is 3 hours and it's really long. SmackDown was 2 hours, and I think SmackDown did a better job at being a kind of like the show after the pay-per-view where it kind of like Raw this past week. I would just consider this entire week for WWE as a whole as more like it's the week after the pay-per-view. The shows are more or less going to set up storylines moving forward and also just going through the motions, I guess you could say. Because always remember, long-term storytelling is sometimes key. And at least some important stuff happened tonight. We have a new number one contender to the SmackDown Women's Championship, albeit a little predictable. And also, it's continuing the build up to Karrion Kross and Drew McIntyre, which will more than likely happen at the pay-per-view, as well as some many other things, as well as the choo-choo train, Braun Strowman coming back to control our narrative. We got a lot to talk about tonight for at least 2-hour show. Now, again, I know I'm kind of dragging this out here, but the way I'm going to do these reviews, if you haven't seen my Monday Night Raw review, the way it's going to be, it's like for 45 minutes to an hour, I'm just going to sit here and talk about and review the show. Because let's be honest, I'm not going to sit here and drag it out to like 2-3 hours. Because Trust me, I don't have that kind of time. I know a lot of people don't have that kind of time. So just listen to me for 45 minutes or so. I'm just going to do a quick little review and then we'll be on our merry way. So the start, oh, crap, the start of the show, man, it very, very long, I guess you could say. So the start of the show was actually you get some recaps again, like on Monday with from Clash of the Castle, where they're showing the still images of like what happened, some of the major moments. The star of the show actually kind of off the tails of their very good Intercontinental title match. The Brawling Brutes, they like to call themselves, Sheamus, Butch, and Ridge Holland, they took on the returning Imperium. Which, not gonna lie, they had us in the first half, by the way, where you think they brought back Imperium's old theme, but it just went to Gunther's new theme. Uh, but I gotta say this though, and I think I talked about this during the Clash of the Castle review. I'm really, really glad that they brought back Imperium because let's be honest, they really shouldn't have broken them up to begin with. And here's the hoping that we sort of get an Imperium Bloodline feud at some point, or even just a Bloodline New Day feud, hopefully down the line. But kind of circling back a little bit though, we did get a. We just found out that Dave Meltzer himself gave the match between Sheamus and Gunther 5 stars. So I mean, I believe that's Sheamus's first 5-star match, if I'm not mistaken. And also, I believe this is like Gunther's like 5th. It's either his 4th or his 5th, but that's very impressive. That shows you how good Gunther is. And Sheamus is very underrated in his own right. So it was really cool to see them get their just dues, I guess you could say. A good portion of this match was mainly Imperium dominating the match. But everybody, again, gets their time to shine. Obviously, Sheamus and Gunther beating the shit out of each other because that's always great. I actually, you know what? Honestly, I kind of want at Extreme Rules for Sheamus and Gunther to face each other again, but this time in like a street fight of sorts. Have it just be like a physical, like, fuck it, just like brawl. Like maybe do like something where you have like maybe like a barroom brawl where you have like tables, chairs, like all the weapons available, but like Gunther just like chopping them. Oh my god, that'd be sick. The match itself, like I said, Imperium dominates for most of the matchup. Great double teaming between Ludwig and Giovanni. Of course, Butch comes in and you see like shades of Pete Dunne with the gear, but also the joint manipulation, and you see him like doing Pete Dunne-esque things, and he's like flying over the place. He's kicking the shit out of Imperium, and then Butch gets beat up for a while. Gunther and Butch are in the same ring for a little bit, which is kind of like a nice little throwback because the guy Gunther beat to become really the longest reigning UK champion was actually Butch. So that was a really cool throwback. I know people say, well, he beat Pete Dunne as Walter. Gunther beat Butch. Let's move on. And then Sheamus gets the hot tag, and Sheamus gets like this massive pop, by the way. He gets like a really good reaction. Again, very well deserved. Sheamus just like starts kicking the shit out of everybody. He hits like an Irish curse. He does like the rolling like fireman's carry, and then he hits the 10 beats of the Belfast, and like he hits like 20 of them on Ludwig, and it's like, oh man, that's fucking brutal. I think at like one point, Ludwig gets hit with a big back body drop, but he actually like lands on his knee very awkwardly. So that didn't look that great, but I don't know if that was intentional or not. But damn, that was brutal. Like you could tell, like he could have been hurt there. But the match ends with Imperium hitting the Imperium bomb on I think it was well, who was it? I think Ridge Holland. Ridge Holland was the one that got beat with the Imperium bomb. It was actually a really good match. I think it was easily the best match of the show. It was a great like start. Obviously, very physical. It was a very fun 6-man tag that I do recommend people watch because even though the title wasn't on the line here, like being put in matches like this actually helps elevate your mid card title. And like I've been saying over the last couple of streams when I'm doing these reviews is I'm really liking that they're building up the prestige of these mid card titles because that is what you need urgently. Cindric comes in. So weird seeing a stream that's just you. Yeah, you know what? For these wrestling streams, for the most part, it's just gonna be just me because I feel like it's better because I'm the only one that really watches wrestling. So I kind of just wanted to do like a quick little stream for about 40 minutes or so. But yeah, I mean, very fun match to kick off the show. Then we get a little promo from the Bloodline. The Bloodline that consists of the Usos and honorary Us Sami Zayn. And I gotta say this too. I really like Sami Zayn in the group. I know he's not really, part of the bloodline, but just seeing him like vibe with Jimmy Uso while Jey Uso's like, go away. Like that is such fucking hilarious. It's hilarious. I really do like just Sammy's involvement in the bloodline, and really the entire promo is Sammy just being like he's just being himself, and like Jey Uso's getting pissed, and Jimmy's like, yeah, Sammy, you're a cool guy, man. I'm vibing with you, Us. And then like Jay's like, stop, just stop, please, for the love of God, just stop. The joke's over, please go away, Sammy. You're not part of the bloodline. And then they come in and they're like, yeah, please, well, because Solo Sikoa, who helped, you know, Roman Reigns retain the championship, and you may be wondering where Roman Reigns is, because people will say he's on a part-time contract. No, you know where he is? He's in the multiverse, and he's probably beating up Andre the Giant or something in the multiverse. He's found a way. He's part of the cosmic beings. He's part of the table. So Roman is not here, but Solo comes out, and because they, hey, he's a cool guy. That's Solo Sikoa. He's like he's the Usos brother, and they're like, please, hey, please welcome the guy. And so Solo comes out, and he's just like, I'm gonna kick everybody's asses. If you have a problem with my family, I'll kick your ass. Essentially, that's basically what the promo was. And then Drew McIntyre comes out with the steel chair. And he kicks the shit out of everybody, and I think he hits Sammy with the chair and the Claymore, and that's like, oh fuck, like Drew's like real. Or no, I don't think he hits the Claymore here. I think he just hits Sammy with the chair, but he saves Solo from getting hit with the chair. Drew's like, I'm gonna kick your ass later tonight, and Solo's like, all right, I accept, Deuce, I accept. So the match is then made between Drew and Solo later on in the night, and of course there's like a little promo in between where Solo's like, "Hey, Sammy, man, thanks for helping me," and then Jay's like, "For fuck's sake, can we stop, please? Sami Zayn's not part of the bloodline. Stop." Jay's like, "Please, for the love of God, stop with the running joke, Sammy. Stop. This is not real life." Like Jay's like, and then Soul's like, "No, I don't need anybody's help." And then Sammy's like, "No, I'll come out and help you." And then Jay's like, "No, fuck it, we're all coming out." So the entire bloodline's gonna come out. So for the match, then we get a the women's tag team champions are teaming up to take on Toxic Attraction. Toxic Attraction, of course, the former two-time NXT Women's Tag Team Champions. The match again, it was okay. Like, it really wasn't anything special. It was just, Leah at the beginning gets some stuff in on Toxic Attraction, then she gets beat up for a while, and then she gets the hot tag, and then Raquel Rodriguez wins. Like, I know I'm kind of rushing through the match, but there's nothing to talk about. I mean, yeah, it's good exposure, I guess, for Toxic Attraction, and yeah, you need like teams for the tag champs to beat, but at the same time, you really didn't have anybody else for them to beat. Like, why did you have them beat Toxic Attraction? I feel like if you're gonna build Toxic Attraction up, then you should have them get some wins here and there. But again, it was fine, but it's like I don't really see the how do I put this? I don't really think Raquel and Aaliyah are going to be champions much longer because I have a feeling Damage Control are going to win the titles on Raw, which I will talk about on Tuesday. But I just overall just I don't understand why they put the belts on. Like, I know I've said this before. I get why they put the belts on them, but sometimes, like I said, it's just the obvious choice is just the right choice, and that was Damage Control. But again, that's neither here nor there. So then, crap. I think I'm trying to remember which one. I think it was actually the huge tag match. It was the big tag match where it was Street Profits and Hit Row versus the Maximum Male Models and Los Lotharios. I'm going to be honest, I really wasn't feeling this match. Mainly because, again, the maximum male models thing is fine, but it's just, again, it's like a stupid, cheesy gimmick, but to me, it's not really benefiting anybody. It's just more like it's a jobber group, I guess you could say. Um, they're not, they're just meh. I don't really care for them. And Los Lotharios, like, they were, the two guys are in it. I liked when they were doing something like in NXT when Angel was the cruiserweight champion. He was good, and they were kind of pushing Humberto as a mid card guy, but I don't know what it is. But again, I'm not feeling them. And Hit Row, ever since they come back, I mean, they're fine, but again, they haven't done anything spectacular. Like, you can tell the crowd's not really into it because, again, Hit Row's been gone a while, and one of the main guys that were there is in AEW, and he's like one half the tag champs with Keith Lee. But again, I think Hit Row are going to be good, are going to be great. I just need to see a little bit more from them in the sense I could maybe see them in the tag division, but I don't. We just have a long time seeing. Of course, the Street Profits are good. I do like the Street Profits. Now, with that being said, at the end of the show, are they setting up another Uso Street Profits match? I really hope not. Like, again, I'll get into that more later on in the review, but the tag match, again, it was just straightforward. Again, it wasn't anything crazy. It was, I will say this, the match was better than what I would give it credit for, because when it was announced, I'm like, no. Like, and of course they're gonna run back the tag team fatal 4-way next week, which I don't know, because it's like I don't really want to see Profits Usos again unless they're gonna have Profits win. But again, we'll get into that later. Overall, I mean, the match was fun. Bunch of high flying stuff towards the end where they're all like leaping off the top rope, they're diving out of the ring, like that was fun. But overall, it was okay. I guess you could say it was just it was a fun massive tag match. That's all it was just a massive tag match. It was just a clusterfuck, but it was fun. Next up, then we have the women's number one contenders fatal 5-way match: Sonya Deville, Lacey Evans, Zia Lee, Natalya, and Ronda Rousey. Yeah. Let me just say this. The match was predictable. Like, we all knew who was in the match. We knew that Ronda was going to win because they're going to do the rematch with Liv at Extreme Rules, and more than likely, Liv is going to drop the title to Ronda. As far as the match goes, the match itself was a clusterfuck and not in a good way. Like, it felt like the women didn't understand what kind of match they were in, and Ronda it was just very clusterfucky, and I didn't like it. It was just predictable. It was very messy. It didn't look that good, and just overall not a pleasant match. I don't even remember who the first one is. I think the first one I think Natalya was eliminated first, and then you had like Zia Lee and Lacey Evans, like they both got eliminated at the same time. Then Ronda just eliminates Sonya out of nowhere. Like, the match is just so much like it's just It was just short, and it was not even like particularly interesting. And like they're kind of trying to like make Ronda the heel here, but I'm like, she's not really a heel in this situation. In fact, I think Liv's the heel here. Like, I actually feel bad for Ronda because she's right. Like, don't get me wrong, maybe her beating up referees isn't the right way to go, but she kind of had a point in that too. It's like, look, you didn't, like, she tapped out before, I was pinned, so it's like, why am I, losing my title opportunity because you fucked up, essentially. So it's like, here, I don't know. It's personally, and in just my opinion, I know a lot of people might disagree with this, but Ronda needs to beat Liv, because as much as I like Liv and as much as I really wanted to give her title run a chance, it didn't work. I'm going to be honest, it did not work. Mainly because I just think as a whole her title run has not been impressive. Like, she had like a shitty win against Ronda at SummerSlam, and then she had like a pretty decent, solid match against Shayna Baszler, which again it was fine, but nothing that I would say was remotely like, oh my god, that was great. It was just like, no, it was okay. But Liv has not done anything as of late to really make me go, okay, she is going to be the SmackDown Women's Champion going to WrestleMania. No, I think more than likely Ronda is going to be the champion coming out of Extreme Rules, hopefully, and that will probably start setting up a match between her and Shayna Baszler down the line, hopefully at WrestleMania. I know people would say, well, they should do Becky and Ronda, and I'm saying you can do that, but I feel like with Ronda and Becky, it's too little too late because they should have done it at WrestleMania this year if you were going to do it. Or they should have done it in 2019 when they should have done it, but instead they put Charlotte in there. But if you still want to do Becky, Ronda, no matter what you do, you just put the belt on Ronda and just have Liv maybe go back in the tag division for a while, or make a mid card title if you want, and then have maybe Liv be like the champion in your mid card division, build her up a little bit more, and then if you want to revisit this down the line, Liv could then become champion again. But right now, the title run just felt meh, and I'd rather anybody but Liv at this point, and that's a shame. And I know I'm going on a tangent here, but does anybody really care anymore? I personally, I don't. I really don't. But that's just me. I know some people might, but for me, not really. Then we have, well, of course, we got Rousey and Shayna Baszler. They're just embracing backstage, and they're talking like, hey, I want revenge, and Shayna, you should join me. And then Shayna's like, I'll think about it. Like that's basically what the whole thing was. Is Ron's like, I know you're upset about losing, but what's best about losing is revenge. We're gonna break every bone in Liv's body or something. I'm like, oh shit, are they gonna do Retribution's back? Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler are part of Retribution. I guess they're gonna be Retribution now. Who's gonna be Slapjack and who's gonna be T-Bar? I don't know. Maybe they'll actually bring back T-Bar. Who knows? So after that, we then get like a little video package of Braun Strowman. He came back on Raw. Now he's gonna be on SmackDown. I don't know why we bring him back on Raw to then put him on SmackDown. Maybe just give Roman something to face, but even then, it's like how many more title defenses is Roman gonna have before even dropping the belt? I don't know. So Braun's back, and of course, the Alpha Academy come out. Thank you, Chad Gable. Which I gotta say, Chad Gable is a national treasure, and he has the potential to be the next Kurt Angle. Chad Gable is very impressive. I really like the guy, and Otis, of course, being Otis, he's just like there being the muscle. He's got like just the intensity. I like that he's got the beard back. I mean, I wasn't a big fan of no beard Otis, but seen Otis with the beard again, hearing Chad Gable go, thank you, and sheesh. Chad Gable is just Gable's great. He's like, thank you for having us. Because they were in the same arena that that Alpha Academy was for. He's like, thank you, and then the crowd's booing him. He's like, I need everybody to sheesh. And like he's just like shitting all over the fucking crowd, and just they're like shitting all over everybody, and just they were in Seattle, and like they chat out, and he's like shitting on the fact that like Seattle doesn't have any sports team anymore, and then like the crowd's like Chad Gable's getting nuclear. He's like shoosh, please, shoosh. And then Braun Strowman comes out, which I believe Braun got new entrance music, which I think is really weird because, I don't think Braun really needed his theme change. Like, you could have just kept it the same because it's literally just what Braun is. But I do understand that they're trying to repackage Braun in a way to where we kind of forget about the choo-choo thing. But that being said, like I said on Monday, I'm not going to rehash this completely. I get why people don't like Braun. I get it. But for the casual fan and for people that he's getting like really massive crowd reactions. So it's like, I mean, as much as we hate to admit it, but I think that might not have been a bad signing in my eyes, because it's like casual fans knows who he is. So it's like he's getting good reactions. Like I'm just gonna see how it goes. Like I said, take it one step at a time. Maybe he'll be good, maybe he'll be bad. I don't know. Just give me Braun Strowman destroying things, because that's always fun. Uh, Nothing. He then just beats up the Alpha Academy, and kind of forgot the whole finish the hit row match. Hit row wins when they hit like their move where it's called the oh god, what's it called? They call it I believe they call it the heavy hitter, which is just, I think it was like a side suplex, but they hit like an enziguri beforehand. The finisher is fine, but I think you could have been a little bit more creative. I'm just gonna be honest. Um, that being said, let's get into the main event. I think what SmackDown reviews, in whole honesty, are probably not gonna be. I think honestly, SmackDown reviews are gonna be like maybe 35 minutes, because unlike Raw, which is like 3 hours, and like 3 hours is like a lot of content. Like SmackDown's like 2 hours, and there's not a whole lot to talk about, especially with this SmackDown. So it's like I kind of went through everything already, and I'm not gonna go into like the major specifics of it, because oh shit, we got Thomas in the house. Let's get this bread. Yes, sir, we are getting this bread. Um, So yeah, the main event of tonight's show was Solo Sikoa versus Drew McIntyre. No disqualification, by the way. By the way, it was actually just a normal match. The match was it was like a hostile match. Solo Sikoa looked great in this match. He basically made Drew McIntyre's bitch. He dominated the entire match. And of course, the Bloodline are getting involved, and like, Drew's like getting pissed off, because every time he's like getting like in control, the Bloodline just keeps like interfering, and you see Solo hitting super kicks and like hitting the ass to the face in the corner, and then Drew comes back. He does his usual like clotheslines. He does the overthrow belly to belly, and then he hits the neckbreaker kip up, and then I think early on in the match he actually hits a Future Shock, and the Future Shock just looked a little not great. But like Solo's like hit him with the Samoan drop. He hit him with like the ass to the face super kick. Like there was a couple false finishes. The match was going pretty all right. Drew tries to go for a dive, but then Sami stops him, and then Drew just kicks Sami Zayn's ass. Then towards the end of the match, you see Drew like he has the Claymore on Solo, and Solo gets out of the ring. Like he claymores him out of the ring. Drew tries to go get him up, but then the lights turn black and white. I'm like, whoa, what the fuck's going on? And then next thing you know, you see Karrion Kross come in, and he puts Drew McIntyre in the cross jacket, and then the show actually ends with the show going to black, and all you hear is Michael Cole saying, "So needs to get help out here," and it kind of shows. So it's kind of like showing like Drew McIntyre falling asleep to the cross jacket. So the match. Oh, actually, also towards the end of the matchup, before the Karrion Kross thing, the Street Profits come out and they beat they come and stop the Bloodline from interfering. So obviously, there's going to be another Street Profits Uso match probably. And honestly, unless you're going to put the belts on the Street Profits, why are we having another Street Profits Uso match? Because we don't have any else in this tag division besides the Usos and the Street Profits. Again, I like both teams, but it's like we've seen this match so many times. It's like, for God's sake, can we like get something different? I'd be all for, honestly, another New Day versus Uso match, just because it feels like we haven't seen that in so long. Like I'm just like, oh my God, can we please just like steer away, please, from Bloodline and Street Profits? Like, please, can we just like get something with like Kevin Owens, just like Kevin Owens enters like the match, and he's like by himself, and like he wins like the entire tag team turmoil match, and they're like, "Hey Kevin, you gotta need a partner for this match," and then he's like, "Oh, I got the perfect partner in mind," and then Kevin's like, "Hey Sammy, you should join up with me," and then Sammy's like, "No, Oos, I'm part of the Bloodline now, son. I'm not joining you, Kevin," and then like Kevin's like, yeah, well, that sucks. But I feel like at the end of this, you're gonna join me anyway, and then the Bloodline turn on him, and then Kevin and Sammy at some point win the tag. But like, I want Kevin and Sammy to win the tag titles here. Like, I like the Street Profits, but it's like if they were gonna beat the Usos, they should have done it already. And it's just overall, it just feels at this point repetitive if that's where they're going. But then again, we'll have to wait and see, because maybe Triple H will have something more in store for the tag stuff. Um, again, kind of like with my Raw review, I really don't have much to talk about because not a lot happened. Like, other than really a lot of storyline progression, this week was just more or less storyline progression. Like, Monday Night Raw seems the most interesting with, Edge Dominic, the women's tag title match. They're going to have a women's championship open challenge. So, there's still a lot going on. That being said, I just don't see particularly. There really wasn't anything going on because other than the Cross McIntyre stuff, Solo coming in, it wasn't anything much newsworthy. Like, I know people are like, well, Ron is the number one contender. It's like that's not really newsworthy because that's just predictable, I guess you could say. But it's like one of those things where it's like, it's okay, but I am really interested to see where everything's gonna go going into Extreme Rules because with Triple H involved, it's got to be good, right? Because Triple H is good. Triple H is he's got a bushy beard. He's got a shaved head. Triple H is a cool guy. He looks like Kratos. If you ever need an act for Kratos, go get Triple H. But yeah, overall, I mean, I know I kind of said this before, but SmackDown was just okay. Nothing eventful, but hey, nothing eventful sometimes is okay. And SmackDown and Raw were just more or less to build up to storylines later down the line. It like I said on my Raw review, it kind of reminds me of the old NXT days where after like Takeover, they usually have like an episode that's like not more. It's just more or less like the pre-show matches for like NXT. That's kind of what the show was. It was kind of like a after Takeover NXT. It was okay, nothing spectacular. It was just okay. Nothing doesn't harm anything. Just it's okay, type of thing. Very fun, very all right. Just okay. Like that's all it is. Just nothing special. Just go ahead and watch. Go watch if you want. Just watch the 6-man tag at the beginning of the show between Imperium and the Brawling Brutes. And like I said before, I hope we get like some sort of fun brawl like match between Sheamus and Gunther. Because Gunther is Gunther. Like, I kind of want Gunther to have like a really lengthy run. I know I'm kind of stalling for time now, but it's like I kind of want to talk about this. Like, Gunther is just really cool. He's somebody that's like his gimmick is just him being the ring. He's just like somebody who just like chops really hard. But that's who he is. He's fucking like he's Gunther. And Gunther is great. I like Gunther. But yeah. I mean, I gotta say though, I really like Gunther. I like Sheamus too. Like Sheamus is very underrated too. Like, can we just say that? Like Sheamus is one of those guys that, I feel like he doesn't get talked about enough. And even by me, I'm like, damn, like Sheamus, like you kind of forget, like Sheamus has been around so long. And Sheamus is genuinely he's genuinely good, man. I think he's very underrated. Like part of like one of the best tag teams with Cesaro and having like he's had some really good matches too. It's like fuck. It's like you tend to forget about that, and I feel bad because like it's like now we're kind of seeing like oh yeah, Sheamus was good. It's like man that it's like I kind of want to see him be world champ one more time. Because he is genuinely good. I think he's got a great physique. He's got a great look to him. He's a badass. Like that's all you need out of anybody be a world champion. To be a credible world champion, you got to be a badass. And I think Sheamus is a badass. Because that's who he is. He's a fucking badass, very muscular, very, very good stuff. Very, very, I just like Sheamus. I like Sheamus now. I also like Butch and Gunther. And also Roman Reigns at the table. Roman Reigns is probably out in the multiverse right now. He's probably kicking the shit out of like all like the multiversal beings and he's gonna beat them all with one spear. Because that's who Roman Reigns is. He beats everybody with one spear. Because that's his gimmick now. He just beats everybody with one spear, and especially when Solo Sikoa drapes him over the top rope, the head and neck first, and then that's it. Yeah, so guys, with that being said, I'm gonna wrap it up here. I mean, there's nothing much to talk about. I mean, streams like this will happen sometimes where if there's nothing really a lot to talk about. I know I didn't really go further into the matches, but in whole honesty, if you want to go watch the matches, like they're on YouTube. Like just search up the WWE YouTube channel and like go watch it. You know, I'm just here just give you my thoughts and opinions on it. Maybe I'll talk a little bit about it. But other than that, like if you want more details, just go watch it. I think that's really all it comes down to. You know, I'm like, I'm not gonna. I don't take notes during matches. I probably should take notes, actually, to tell you the truth. But you know what? It's SmackDown. You know, it's SmackDown and Raw. Like, come on, guys. Like, it's fine. It's just fine wrestling. But you know what else? But you know what is really good wrestling though? DPW, Deadlock Pro Wrestling, on September 17th, which is on next Saturday. I'm going to be reviewing my first DPW show. Oh god, what name? Oh my god, now it's even slipped through my fucking head. Oh my god, son of a bitch. Deadlock Pro Wrestling. What's their next show called? It's September 17th in Raleigh, North Carolina. Victory Lap. I don't know why I forgot that. Fuck. I feel like a fucking idiot now. I apologize. But yeah, I'm gonna be reviewing DPW Victory Lap, and because I'm kind of catching up on the DPW shows I've missed, so hopefully I'll get it all done in time for DPW Victory Lap. So go check that out when you can. Yeah. So with that being said, though, guys, we are gonna wrap it up here. Thank you guys for watching. It's the Osinator signing out. Peace.
That's awesome.